Look at this. I got headphones on. I got a mic going. Baby.
If
Huh?
only people could see you now.
Hey, no video. We've gone through this before.
All right,
No
all right,
video.
all right. Welcome to This Commerce Life. This is a podcast aimed at small, medium entrepreneurs focused on commerce. I'm Phil, your host, and Kenny, your co-host, will join us as well. And we're going to talk to you about the world of retail and commerce and how things are changing in the world.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, thanks.
Good.
How are you guys?
It's good. We're good.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's nice to meet you
birthday.
guys.
Nice to meet you guys too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Welcome to the show.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Talking a lot about you, the two of you. So
Pardon?
Rich has been talking a lot about the two of you.
Oh,
Oh, that's
all
Mostly
good
good.
things.
That's all
right?
good.
Mostly
All
good.
good things.
Mostly
All
good.
Yeah.
mostly good. We'll take it.
Can't be 100%, right? You got to have some
Right.
stuff out there. That's
Right,
very
right.
That'd be a drag otherwise. Like seriously.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So so this show is this podcast is a very unscripted podcast. So
We're just listening to the one
tend-
with Ian.
Oh, did you? Oh,
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. That's
So we've
fantastic.
definitely got a good feel of it. We both know Ian, so
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he was fun to talk to. He was a very interesting guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
it's been
Yeah.
around
It's really
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We-
he's a good businessman.
It's funny too because
Really
we do our best to not have these go on, but I think I think there were a couple of times at the end that both of us are like, we gotta go. Like no one's gonna be listening to us anymore, right? It's like, but it was.
Well,
it
we're
was
pushing
just so
an hour and
interesting,
10, right? And I'm thinking,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
buddy, we gotta shut this puppy down.
Yeah.
We've lost people like 10 minutes ago, man. There's gonna be nobody left on this thing.
Oh my gosh. Oh my
No,
gosh.
he's very
That's
interesting.
funny.
Very, very cool guy.
How many
Yeah.
listeners do you guys get on average for your shows?
Oh my gosh. We get so we get about 200 to 250 downloads. And
Oh, that's great.
then
Cool.
and so we always worked off that for a long time. We were kind of like, yeah, this is what we get. And then I think like about a month ago, I sent Kenny, there's a whole nother tab on the analytics field. I didn't even know it was there. So people were live streaming us or streaming us off browsers. So I
Oh.
think with the two combined, we're somewhere in the 500
Somewhere in there. I
kind
would
of
think.
listeners per episode. So
Amazing.
Cool.
yeah. So it's kind of
Yeah.
funny. It was like, oh my gosh, there's all this stuff I didn't know was here. So
Yeah.
yeah,
You learn something new every day.
we do.
Mhm.
We do all the time.
I try
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't always work, but we do try.
Mhm.
So today we have the ladies of Good Juju on. So we have Alex and Lisa here. We're pretty
Alexa.
Oh, I'm so
Yeah.
sorry.
That's okay.
So we have Alexa and Lisa on with us. We're pretty excited. We've heard lots of things from Richard. So Richard Pollock introduced us, but we're so very excited to have you on because we have heard lots and lots of, we joke about it, but really he had nothing but good things to say.
He's had a lot to
about it.
say, and he's super
So,
excited about this
yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
That's
he was
really
super
nice.
He's
excited
kind
to
of
have
ready
us
to
talk to
do
you.
the podcast for you, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe.
Like,
We should have had him on here with us.
Yeah.
No, he talks too much then, and then we'll never
yeah,
get anything done.
yeah. And then
That's
we
not-
really
doesn't
want
work.
to talk to you
Agreed.
guys.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. No, he's a good friend of both of ours. We've both been in the
Yeah.
industry for quite a while. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he's a good friend
Mhm.
of both of ours.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Do you mind I don't know who wants to go. Would you guys mind telling us a little bit about the two of you, and then we can get into Good Juju for sure, and then
Yeah.
So
for
kind of
sure.
like just where you came from, what are you doing, how'd you get to where you're at?
We have a little bit of a shtick. There's two of us, so we have
Okay.
to.
Okay.
Lisa kicks it off most of the time.
Yeah. So okay. So I actually have been in this world, the natural health world, for about maybe more than that now, 11 years now, 11, 12 years. I used to run the marketing department for Genuine Health. I was the VP of marketing for Genuine Health for 9 years. Love the brand, still do, but after 9 years on one brand, it's a lot for a marketing person to be on one brand. But I think one of the really amazing things about being in marketing for a Canadian company. So I went to business school, and when you're in business school, there's this thing that happens when you're ready to graduate, where all the CPG companies come in and they interview you, and you do these interviews, and it's like you're so like excited to get an interview with like, you know, just name them, P&G or
Procter and Gamble, Kimberly-Clark, Unilever, same ones.
Yeah.
Since we went to university.
Yeah.
Same crew.
You don't really realize, because you're in school and you're like super naive, and you think like this is like, oh, it's amazing, and I'm gonna work for Procter and Gamble, and I'm gonna do all this like really cool stuff. And then it's like the real Phil's shaking his head. He's like, absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, pretty much, right? And I think there's two things. It's one, I knew right away in the interview process that CPG world was not for me, right? Like it's a very, very process driven, very, very like, this is your box as a brand manager, and you do not go outside of that box. So that's one thing. But the other thing, like just taking it up a level from a marketing perspective, is I don't think that when you're in school, you're super naive. You think I'm going to do all these amazing things, but really those brands are not owned in Canada at all. So as a marketing person, what you are doing is you are taking you're taking stuff that's originated in the US or in Europe or somewhere else, in Asia, and then you are adapting it for Canada, and you are just doing not much anything creative, right? So working for Genuine Health was, I spent actually, prior to that, I was in the wine industry. But like working for Genuine Health was like an amazing experience, because I was, on the new product development team for 9 years, and I got to work on branding, and I got to like really create and do true marketing, so, and then doing it in an industry and in a brand that I absolutely loved. So it was really, really cool. And that's where I met Alexa, because, Alexa will tell you her background, but Genuine Health and Nature's Fair, where Alexa comes from, are really good friends and business partners. And so that's how we met.
Yeah. So I'll just jump in then and kind of give you my background, because that's a great segue. So my background is also in the natural health industry, but for a lot longer. I spent about 26 years in the natural health industry. My family started a group of health food stores out west called Nature's Fair Markets, and
they're just a little chain, if you haven't heard of them.
Who are these guys?
I mean, for people that are not like in the West, though, I feel like no one's heard of us out east. But we
in the West, you're definitely known. You're definitely known.
The West should know. Yeah,
you should be, right?
Yeah.
No, us. We're on the East Coast. We're not Neanderthals. We know.
Call it what you guys, whatever you guys want to call yourselves.
I don't know.
We're on the West Coast, Matt. I mean, totally.
Yeah, so we started Nature's Fair. Well, my dad started Nature's Fair because I was 11 at the time. So he started Nature's Fair in 1994 in Kelowna, and but I was there working on day one with my sister. We were handing out frequent shopper cards to new customers, asking them to sign up, and like, who could say no to adorable little like 8-year-old and 11-year-old girls. So we did a pretty good job, I think, on our first day, and then spent working through high school, working in every aspect of the stores, cleaning shelves every weekend, like running the cash, doing that kind of thing. And then I left to go to university and went to business school as well at UVic. We did not have CPG companies courting us at graduation. We just had accounting firms, and my dad was an accountant, and I just knew like I did not want to go into accounting because it was quite boring in my mind. But I know that the skills are very useful. Just it was not for me. So I moved back to the Okanagan after that, and then jumped back into Nature's Fair right away, because I just like so passionate about the industry, so passionate about everything that we were doing. We became a B Corp. Lisa and Genuine Health were actually the very first B Corp manufacturer supplier in Canada, and then Nature's Fair was the very in the world.
Supplements. It was Genuine Health was the first supplement company in the world to become a B Corp.
Wow, I didn't know that. Yeah, I knew you were one of the first. I didn't know you were
just for supplements. Yeah.
Wow,
that's big. Though.
Okay.
That's huge.
That's big. That's huge.
Yeah.
And they actually inspired Nature's Fair to become a B Corp. So we were the first B Corp retailer in Canada. And then, jumped back into kind of like head office life at Nature's Fair, and was involved in really every single aspect of the business. So you know, kind of on the executive team for the period of time from university on to when we made the decision to sell Nature's Fair in April of 2019. And that kind of happened really just serendipitously. We weren't necessarily planning to sell the company, but an offer came along and my dad was ready to exit. My sister and I had just had our kids, so we weren't really ready to kind of step into that role. And so we decided.
It was shocking. Do you guys remember when that happened? Like, I don't know if you guys remember, Phil and Kenny, if you remember when that happened. Like, it was shocking in the industry.
Yeah, it was surprising.
See, it's funny out here. It wasn't too shocking, and it just was. A few had gone. Choices had gone. Coopers had gone.
Yes,
like all of a sudden,
is true.
Pattison started picking up all these cool little changes, quality on the island. Like there's a whole bunch of these things, and we're all thinking. Then we got to the point like, who's next?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you guys were a little bit on the shocking side just because it was still so tightly family owned. And you're thinking, well, okay, but it makes sense though.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
time, right? It's a good move. What the hell?
Yeah, 26 years is a long time.
So that's a good run. It's a good run.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we sold, and then as we were selling, or once we made the announcement to sell, Lisa and Stuart from Genuine Health, who, as Lisa mentioned, were two of our, you know, greatest friends in the industry, came out to the Okanagan, and Lisa and I met for lunch, and I'll let Lisa kind of maybe continue the story from there.
Yeah. So at this point, I had kind of decided it was time to move on from Genuine Health. So I was like, so, you know, I think I want to start my own business. She was like, and I'm like, you have nothing to do now.
You're unemployed. What do you want to do?
Yeah. What do you want to do?
This is when Kenny and I have these ideas. This is when Kenny goes, what the hell, man? Let's just do it. Right. Is kind of how Kenny always.
Right.
Yeah. But you know what? I have to say, like, I knew that I wanted to do, like, I wanted to start something on my own, because I think that also, I also knew that I was done with supplements. I love them, but I just was like, I was over marketing them. Right. So I just, and I had gained a lot of experience. So while like I was VP of marketing, I had a pretty broad role at Genuine Health. I did like a lot of sales stuff, and I did stuff like beyond. So I knew that I wanted to do that, but I also knew that I didn't want to do it on my own. Right. I knew that I wanted to partner, and I wanted to, because I think it's, you know, share the stress, but also share the fun, right? So in the first, Alexa was like, I think at that point you were like, I'm not even sure that you weren't even certain that you were going to leave Nature's Fair. You were like, I'm going to stick around for a little bit, and
I want to just keep working there. I was like, I love the company, you know, like, so we had no plans. My sister and I had no plans to leave at first, and it wasn't until like 9 months later that we actually ended up leaving. But Lisa just kept, you know, let's try business.
Like, I'll wait.
Yeah, I'll just wait. What about now? Like 2 months later, like, what about now?
Yeah. Cause I took a break after I left. I was like, I need a little bit of a break. And then I just kept popping in. I'm like, change your mind yet?
That's how you do it though. Like you just keep poking. Sooner or later she's gonna get irritated and either tell you to go somewhere else or she's joining on.
Yeah.
Or she joined on.
And I think you went to a summit, right? Or I went to Fast Company.
The Fast Company Innovation Festival in New York, and I had gone to all these different conferences by women who had started their own businesses, and after one of them, I was just like so inspired, and I thought, you know, why not? Like, let's just do this. Like, I had no role left at Nature's Fair. I was just like going there every day and kind of just like talking to staff, and like I had like no job, so
she was the queen.
We just went there and kind of.
You went back to handing out the frequent shopper cards.
I essentially, honestly, I did.
Well, at least you're talking to people then, right? You got a purpose.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard when you transition out, right? You're no longer really part of it. It's not owned by you anymore. And, you know, I'm assuming the excitement of that kind of must wane. I mean, it's not yours anymore, right? It's cool. And you got it to a great place, but time to.
It's got to feel weird, right?
Yeah.
You're in on decisions,
you feel like it's
and
still
then all of a
yours,
sudden
like,
it's gone the other way.
Yeah, like I'm still like, well, I should be in the room making this decision or helping make this decision, or like, oh, we wouldn't have done it like that way.
Yeah.
But then I go and like talk to our CEO and be like, I don't think like we should have do that way. And he's like, well, you know, like, thanks for your opinion, but
thanks. Yeah.
Appreciate it. We'll table that.
Yeah. So it was time to move on, and so it just kind of like worked out so well that we, you know, that we connected and
And then over the time, we weren't really a certain, like at first, what we wanted to do. We knew we wanted to do something like purpose driven. We knew that we wanted to do something, not supplements, but we didn't really know. So we had like a couple of ideas before. And then kind of just one day, we both use shampoo and conditioner bars. And they were the ones that are on the market. So I think like first it's like important to say that anybody who's doing zero waste right now is like great in our books, because more people really need to become more aware of the options that are out there. But the ones that we were using and the companies that were available at the time, we kind of felt like we could just do better. Like with our backgrounds, you know, like I said, I sat on the new product development team. I really knew how to formulate a really great product. And the companies that are out there, like some of them have like yellow dye number 5 in them, you know, things like that. And, or they're not fully sustainable. Like they have plastic in their line, and a shampoo bar is just one of their offerings. It was either like not the best ingredients or, you know, not fully sustainable. Right. So we were like, we can do this better. And like, as soon as we kind of said it, like one day I called up Alexa. I was like, do you use shampoo bars? And she's like, yes. And I'm like, we can do better. She's like, yes, we can. And we knew initially, as soon as we said that, we were like, this is it, like zero waste. Because I also think that, you know, like we said, we kind of started off by talking about, you know, we've been in the industry for a while. We know so many people who are doing amazing things. But and I hope I don't offend anybody by saying this, but I do think our industry is a little sleepy. Like there's not a heck of a lot of innovation going on. You know, there's not. And we knew, and especially when it comes to sustainability, I think that there's some companies doing amazing things when it comes to sustainability, particularly on the food side. Like I think it's a lot easier on the food side because you can really control your supply chain and you can talk about organic ingredients and things like that. But there's not a heck of a lot of people really taking a stand for the environment and really meshing that with natural health and products that are better for you. Right. So,
I think that's true. Sorry, go ahead, Kenny.
No, just time frame. So go back to time frame. So when is this? So you guys got a lot of phone calls where there's no ideas. You're just talking. You're going to do something. Not too sure what the hell we're doing yet. Finally get someone to pack it in and quit. That's great. So is this like 18 months ago? It sounds like
this was end of 2019.
So
so this was November 2019. We made the decision to go full in on this.
About not even 18 months, about a year and a half.
Not even 18 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
So started formulating products.
Yeah.
So I was going to say, started formulating products, and our goal was to launch in June of 2020, but then
November 2019.
November 2019, we were like, oh, what a great time to start a business.
In November 2019, it was.
Let's go launch in June.
It was good until March 10th.
Yeah, it was amazing.
It was great. I mean, what the hell? February was a great month last year to launch a business.
Oh, it was. It was amazing. You know
March
what?
Sucked,
it was probably good up until March 20th. Right?
I know. Well, because we thought it'd be a couple days, a couple weeks. Next thing you know,
easy breezy. Then our manufacturing is in Ontario. So I'm in Ontario, and you know, I say you guys are like living the dream out there in BC. It's like, boohoo, you guys finally have a lockdown. It's like we've been locked out. We've been in a prison in Ontario for like.
Thank you. Oh my God. I haven't left this in like, I don't know how long.
Yeah.
Do you know how long it took me to get Kenny to understand what a lockdown is? He was like, oh, we're locked down like you. I'm like, we're not locked down. Are you wandering around Home Depot? Yes, you are. Then you're not locked down like us.
Well, I thought you guys were doing we do. We had sort of like a lockdown to some degree.
No, you didn't.
No, not compared to you guys. Like we've been shopping. We've been getting haircuts since last June.
We've been going to dinner.
We go for dinner. We can still go.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you guys were closed. I mean, Mark and Phil were telling me, oh shit, I didn't realize it was that bad.
Yeah, no, it's bad. So our manufacturing is in Ontario. So once it really started to lock down in Ontario, which was probably like the end of March, our manufacturer makes hand sanitizer too. So I don't know if you remember back then, anybody who was making hand sanitizer had to switch completely just to hand sanitizer. So our June plans, just puff of smoke, blew up. And but I mean, honestly, we still felt like we were pretty lucky to launch in November, given everything, to get everything back on track till November. Yeah, we thought that was not bad.
So to let people know, what did
bad.
you launch? What did you launch in November? What did you do?
So we launched our shampoo and conditioner bars online November 4th, I think it was, right? And we have
On your own page, or were you using
on our own page?
On your own
Yeah.
page, okay.
So we started just basically as soon as we had our inventory, we launched. We were like, you know, our site was I think it was pretty much done, but we were just like, the second we get our inventory, we're going to launch, because we had been delayed for so long and you know, incurring a lot of costs along the way.
Right.
So we just needed to get selling, and so we launched November 4th with 4 shampoo bars and 4 conditioner bars.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and soap dishes. And then very shortly after, we launched our laundry detergent strips.
Right.
So which we have 2 SKUs of, our Summer Rain scent and unscented. And that we started working on that product line in August, I think it was, right?
So COVID didn't scare you. I mean, outside of the fact that it's happening, it's a little shitty out there because, to your point, I mean, some people in the East had it a little rougher maybe than the West, but you know, they're always pissing and moaning about something. I mean, they're the center of the planet anyway, so whatever.
We certainly are.
I know, we all know that out here too, and we'll let you guys have that. That's okay. But so did it deter you? Didn't it scare you? You're going through lockdowns. There's no light at the end of the tunnel at this point, and you still decided, come hell or high water, we're going to launch something in November, and not shortly after, we're going to just keep pushing.
Yeah, you know, when we launched, so many people said that to us. They were like, "Oh my gosh, you guys are so brave for launching in a pandemic." And Alexa and I just kind of looked at each other and we're like, well, what else would we have done? We've been doing this for a year. Like, we've put everything into this, you know, like it never
scared a lot of people.
Yeah, it honestly didn't cross our minds. And I think that's awesome. Also, like, I recognize what a privilege that was for us, right? Like the COVID has hit so many industries so hard. Our industry has not been one of them, you know, like we've seen a lot, like a rise in, you know, natural health is, you know, health scares are great for the natural health industry.
Absolutely.
And you know, it did definitely extend to beauty as well. I think it wasn't just supplements. So so a year after we started, after the idea came, we launched.
Just pretty fast. That's pretty cool. In
I mean, we wanted it to be faster.
That's very fast.
Cool.
That's very, very fast. Yeah.
But one of the things that we really, you know, Alexa mentioned that, you know, the costs were adding up. And I think that for us in particular, we made a decision upfront to like our backgrounds are, you know, are both heavy in marketing. So we made the decision upfront to really overinvest in marketing. So we hired like an award-winning branding agency. We hired a PR agency. We really, we hired an amazing photographer. So when we launched, again, like really lucky, like we launched just coming up to Christmas and we got featured in like Fashion Magazine and Flair Magazine. Like we launched as part of the Flair gift guide. So we had like a flurry of really amazing PR stories right at our launch, which we were super lucky about. And so I think that also like, we didn't even have time to be anxious about it because, you know, knock on wood, like we launched and we had a lot of sales, like right to start. So it was really good.
So like it was, so once you turned the light on, like you were getting, from November 4th, you were getting sales. I don't think it wasn't like, mental, but you guys were getting sales.
Yeah. Like literally like an hour after we launched.
Seriously.
Yeah. And like speaking to the, you know, Lisa said, you know, we're quite privileged in the industry, but I think, you know, obviously we're really privileged in the sense that we have a lot of connections that that really supported us from the beginning. So, you know, we didn't have to go out and work for our first retail listings super hard, I think.
Guess who our first retail listing
Someone in the West?
Just try and guess. Yeah. Try and
guess. Philo? Same family now.
Yeah, I know. Well,
see, could have been that.
In particular, Nature's Fair.
Could have been that.
So Nature's Fair obviously brought us on right away and really like supported us from the beginning. And then, you know, our connections, because Nature's Fair is obviously part of the Bilo group, helped us get into Choices and Nesters and a lot of these retailers like right off the bat that I think would have been really tough to get, you know, meetings, especially in a November, December, you know, everyone's on Christmas break. They're planning for next year. They're, you know, they're right in the middle of a pandemic.
There's no listings happening in November, December. Buyers do not do squat in those months. I was buyer for a long time. I know that.
Yeah.
But to be fair, you guys did like some amazing work. Like I think part of this is the marketer in me, right? Is I'm applauding all of this, right? Because this is the uphill battle, right? Because you get brands that are like, I'll take my own pictures, don't worry about it. And you're like, you don't understand. Like you have no idea like what the difference of like a pro photographer that knows what they're doing coupled with a branding agency and a PR, what they could do for you, right? Like how they can light it up. And then you guys have done a ton of work. Like I'm still kind of like, I'm stuck here, right? Because you guys are like, we quit. We decided last November that we get together. Let's just launch next November. Let's figure out formulations. We'll go supply chain. We'll hire marketing agencies, and we'll just put together a zero waste company. What's the big deal? Let's go next November. Like
it's not normal. I mean, it doesn't typically happen that way. And when it does, it typically doesn't do much because there's a lot of moving parts. I mean, thankfully, you did come from retail, so you get the retail. You came from the marketing side and were involved in production or planning, etc. Because honestly, it's not.
I'm feeling uncomfortable because normally Kenny is the one who loses his crap at this point.
Yeah,
I'm the calm, collected. I'm like, no, don't worry. But I'm really like,
I just don't get it. I mean, 12 months is 12 months is 12 months to launch a product in a company that's already existing and functioning is pretty fast. It is. Yeah. Right. Yeah. You know that, if people think, oh yeah, you come up with an idea, you put on paper, you go to the printer and boxes. Yeah. No. 12 months is fast.
And you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have like 12, 13, 14 SKUs on the hair side. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then like on the detergent side, I need to ask you about the detergent stuff because it's so
I haven't tried it. Rich dropped some off at the house last week, but I have.
You have to try it.
I trust me, I've already heard.
I'll try it. Like this is no small feat, right? And you've got e-com going, you've got retailers
I don't think so. Going. And you're the shittiest time. COVID sucked. COVID was very difficult because if you
for
don't
listeners
have your
in the
contacts,
podcast, these two are like calm and they're smiling. Like I'm losing my crap here because
I know they think it's so easy just to go do this. Holy moly! We just came up and away we went.
We do not. So I have to. So here's a little funny story. In the beginning, like pre-COVID, before we were like, wow, this is so easy. Like we did say
everyone run a business. Like things are falling into place. Like this is not
how hard is this?
More people start their own business. But now a year later, or however, 18 months later, we were like, holy shit.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
There's
a lot of stuff going on.
This is freaking hard. It is hard. Like we're not gonna lie. It is so hard. And honestly, like I think one of the biggest compliments that I got from a couple of people in the industry. So when I left, so while we were building Good Juju, I was actually working after I left Genuine Health. I did consulting for St. Francis Herb Farm. So I was working and building Good Juju at the same time. And I was actually talking to the owner the other day, and she was like, you guys get so much done. Like it's me and Alexa and one other person who we couldn't have done any of this without. He's
amazing.
Star. Yeah. And so Max, got to give you a shout out formally.
Yes.
Because we couldn't do anything without him.
Max, they're on the show. Go take a nap. We've got him another half an hour. Nobody's going to call you. Go take a nap right now.
Exactly.
He needs one.
But we have got the three of us have gotten a shitload done in a really short period of time. And we were actually just having this discussion because, when you coming from bigger organizations like we both did, and I was having this conversation with Caitlin too from St. Francis. It's like, you guys know this, you spend your day in meetings, right? You spend your day in meetings doing things instead of getting shit done. And we're like, that's our biggest, my biggest fear as we scale, because trust me, we're going to scale. Like our goal is to make this huge.
Right.
Is how do we maintain this scrappiness? This get it done, and not, get bogged down in the meetings. And
add slowly. Add bodies slowly.
Yeah.
Get to the point where you're this close to getting committed, and then you add a body.
Yeah.
Right. Because otherwise what happens, then you start meeting too much and then you're talking too much.
Structure.
And nothing's because it has to happen.
Yeah.
And to scale, that you have to get there.
Yeah.
Push it though, man. Because when shit's got to get done and you're looking around for the help you're looking at each other. Well, and poor Max is taking a nap, but there's not a lot of bodies in the room. You're thinking, okay, well, shit, if she's not going to do it and he's not going to do it, I'm stuck doing it.
Yeah.
So you kind of move, right? But if you start getting fluff and, it causes issues.
The thing is as well is, and I think what's so important, and I mean, this is not news to anybody in business, but it's the right people, right?
Absolutely.
It's like culture trumps ability every time, right? Having the right people who have the get it done mindset, who want to contribute, who want to be. And right now, the three of us, like we've talked about it so much, actually, we're like, what's going to happen? Like we have the same sense of humor. We have this, like we joke about the same jokes. Stuff.
You're going to take your time and you're going to hire the same sort of people. Different skill sets, not exactly the same, because you need some. But you do that because of the right ass in the right seat is critical. As you're finding, I mean, that's it. That is the game.
It's fun but different. I think the two startups that I've been in, it's fun but different from 1 to 6, and then from 6 to 12, and then after 12 it gets weird. 12 to 19 it's really weird. Like I think Hubba was 5 people when we started, and then we went to 9 and then 12 really quickly, and then like 9 to 12 was just tight knit family. There was never a moment, and we weren't worried about shit if they're not going to do it, I'm going to do it. It was more like, holy shit, nobody picked that up, right? Like that was the big worry, was like, oh my God, nobody picked that piece up, because we're just, but at 12 to 19, it got weird because all of a sudden you need to have some structure. You couldn't have 19 people in a room. I think the first time we did that, we were like, never again. I don't even understand what happened in that meeting, right? Like normally you come out of it and you know what you're doing, and then 19 people later, you're like, I think we barely decided what was for lunch. Like, how are we going to get shit done? Right?
Hence why you have another meeting, because the first meeting got nothing done. So you have another meeting. And you cut it down a little bit, and you still walk out thinking, I don't know what the hell just happened. So let's just have one more meeting on this one. But you're right. That is what happens, right? Yeah. But I'm glad you guys, because you guys have worked long enough. You're in the industry. Yeah. Right ass, right seat.
Critical. No, exactly. Like we were just saying today, it's that like hire slow and fire fast mentality.
Absolutely.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean,
and ideally, don't fire. Hire properly. Exactly. Take your time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Making sure it's the right people.
Good for you guys. That's crazy.
Yeah. Because the thing about it that scares us, though. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Alexa.
No, I was just gonna say that we're at that point right now where we're, all of us are maxed completely. Like it's we don't have another hour in the day to do anything more. So, but we also don't have any money. So we need to hire somebody, but we don't have money, but we need to hire.
Hey, we know people. We know people that can get you money.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what, to be honest, we haven't had a shortage of people wanting to invest and wanting to be part of this. So that is we feel super grateful for. We're not at we just our goal right now is get the valuation up so that we, and then we'll take everybody's money now.
We can't take it.
Love it.
We don't want to give away very much.
Great strategy.
Well, you don't want to have to give, again, this is why you be careful hiring too, because you don't want to have to give away much of it. You guys got a cool concept going, right? It's the right time.
Yes.
It's the right space, whether it's the Haba side or the home side. It's the timing's good. Like it really is. I mean, you're going to see so many more people in vegan space, and it happens in food. It pulls into the house. It starts to spin. So I think you guys are in a really good spot. And if you can stay nimble and aggressive, shit.
Yeah, we talk about that a lot. We're catching this wave right now.
Damn right.
That it's the perfect time to get into this. There's not too many companies in it yet, but people are willing and interested enough to give it a try. So
just to give you guys some perspective, and these are ballpark numbers, so the biggest, so many people don't even know what laundry strips are yet, but there is a really big Canadian company. I'm not going to name names, but there is a really big Canadian company out there that sells laundry strips, and they after just over 2 years they're like roughly a $50 million company after 2 years.
I find that amazing because I didn't know what the hell laundry strips were until Rich kept yapping at me about these laundry strips.
Yeah.
Okay,
And then there's like a really, there's quite a few people doing shampoo bars, but there is another like, you know, fairly popular Canadian company doing shampoo bars. And like, they're probably like after about 2 years, they're a $10 million company. Just after
interesting.
So I think the thing is, and it's probably a really good segue because I think at this point for you guys to tell us about the company is a really good idea. But I gotta say, like, I think I'm kind of like, I feel like an environmental idiot all the time. Do you know, like I've worked CPG all of my life, right? So I have. It's funny because in my house we joke about that. My wife is an accountant. She's never worked for anything but a Canadian company. And I have never, in my salaried career, I've never worked for a Canadian company. Never.
Not surprising.
All of them have been American or French. American, French. Yeah. None of them are. But like even being in CPG and then doing, you know, trying to teach the kids and get them, you know, zeroed on the things that are important, right? Like make better choices when you're buying things, figure out what's responsible. I still feel like an environmental idiot, right? Because half the time you pick things and you think you're doing the right thing, and then you realize like, I maybe only got halfway to what I was.
Well, you got some of the way, you just didn't do well.
You got some,
Yeah, I get it. That's,
you know, but anyway, I'll just say that I think it's a good segue. Do you guys want to tell us more about the company? Like this wicked, Kenny will know what's happening right now. I've gone to your website. I've kind of lost.
Phil's ready to buy. I already can see it. When
I start to wander, I won't lie. There's stuff in my cart already.
I've already lost
it.
It's too late.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll go first, Alexa, and then you can fill in. You can fill in gaps.
Okay.
So you know what? I think exactly what you said is a great segue because you're talking about. I think you're talking about the balance of making just good, healthier choices overall can seem overwhelming. Yep. But when you add in the zero waste, which is what we consider the category that we're in, I think people get super overwhelmed. They get very intimidated, and they think, you know, what does it mean to go zero waste? And if I'm going to go zero waste, you almost have to be perfect at it. Like, does that mean I have to get rid of, like, what does this mean for my kitchen? Do I have to stop using plastic everywhere? Like, what is this? So for us, we really wanted, our motto is zero waste with zero compromise, because I think that there's two things. It's people think that they have to do it perfectly, but they also think that they're going to have to give up something, that if they let go of that plastic bottle, that the quality is going to go down. It's going to diminish. And for us, we really wanted to create, our mission was to reduce the amount of single-use plastics that people use in their daily routine. So we've got the bathroom, we've got the laundry room, but we want to move to the kitchen. We want to move everywhere. We want to go all over the house where you've got these like single-use plastics that are being produced. And we want to swap them out for products that are not in plastic, that have zero waste, but are actually better. They perform better than what's in the plastic bottle.
I think that's like a lesson that we learned from being, especially like as a retailer in the natural health industry for such a long time. Like so many customers, or just people, like friends even, would be like, oh, it's organic, so it must like not taste good, or it's, it's like it's natural, so it must not work very well. Like for cleaning products, for example, like people don't think natural cleaning products really work because they're natural and they're not, full of chemicals or whatever it is. So when we started formulating products, we were like, we have to make sure the products are as good or actually better than their liquid kind of counterparts, because otherwise people are not going to make the switch. And when they do make the switch, we want them to be like so wowed by the performance of the products that they'll become like evangelists for a brand, and they'll like tell their friends. And that's kind of what we've seen so far. Like our shampoo and conditioner bars, we formulated them with a hairdresser. So a career hairdresser, and with a naturopathic doctor, Dr. Ellen Logan, who does a lot of the formulation for Genuine Health products, or has done in the past. So we brought in like the science and the performance, so that we could really use innovative ingredients, but also so that the end result was like this amazing hair experience for people.
Yeah. And we have like hairdressers that are commenting, and they're like, wow, I've been a hairdresser for like 20 years, and this is the best shampoo product I've ever used.
Yeah.
So
And then same for the laundry.
I don't know if you
strips.
guys would feel the same with those little things.
I have to have hair. I have to have hair to do that these days.
Yeah.
That's why I grow it here. It's compensation.
Nope, this is a COVID haircut. It'll stay like this now forever, I think. I really like it.
At least you still have hair, though.
But I have 3 women in my house that would love.
Who are going to love it.
Yeah.
So.
They're like people rave. Like we always knew it. Like I think we have over almost 200 now. So in like 5 months, we have 200 5-star reviews.
That's fantastic.
Already. Yeah. And I mean, I think that to go back, I think one of the things that we didn't touch on when we were talking about, you know, the marketing and how important stuff like that is for the brand. And we actually, like in February, it just became live, but in February we actually got listed at Indigo as well. So we're now available at indigo.com. But for a brand new brand, like we were literally like 3 months old, and we contacted Indigo, and I have to say, like, it was one of the best experiences for us because, like, I mean, you guys know buyers, right? You know what buyers are.
We're
like,
jerks.
Especially
we're jerks. We're all jerks.
I was pretty nice as a buyer.
He was
overall.
a jerk.
I was not
He
that
was a
bad.
jerk.
I was not that bad.
Yeah. He was nice when he wanted to be, but he
relatively speaking, I think I was pretty good.
Okay, so buyers can, you know, be
They're
difficult.
Sure.
They can be difficult, and more often than not, you get the response. You get the like, great, thanks. I'll be in touch if you know we want more.
Oh, you actually got responses.
We got a response from Indigo in like an hour of sending like a cold email. It wasn't even a warm intro. It was like a cold email. And and within 2 weeks we were listed, and we got like, and they did say like, your brand is gorgeous. Like, we want this because, you know, they recognize, like, obviously a brand like Indigo understands the value of great marketing, right? And they were like, your brand is so beautiful and in alignment with what we're doing. So like, we want it. So we actually just launched Indigo like last week. Yeah.
Let me ask you a couple of quick things then. So right now, like, how are you distributing? Are you selling direct? Are you doing mostly online? Or using a distributor? And then the next part of the question is like, give me some ideas. Like, I know you're in Nature's Fair, and I know you're in Indigo. Like, who else is carrying you, or where do you want to be? Like, what's sort of the dream accounts? So maybe the first part is like, how are you doing this? Like, are you in the garage and you guys are sitting there packing things, or is this like
no, that's
Max.
Actually, yes. That's what we're doing.
That's why he needs a nap. The bastard's exhausted.
Well, honestly, we are self-distributing at this point.
And 2 warehouses.
We have 2 warehouses.
One
Excellent.
here and one right behind
one in
her.
Ontario and one in your national distribution.
So you're national distribution.
Yeah.
Put that down on your sell sheet. Nationally distributed.
Yep, we do. Yep.
Warehouses in 2 locations.
Yep. We know. We got that.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's a good bullshit story. Good.
And online, we're doing online orders as well out of our 2 warehouses.
Wow.
But yeah, we're direct at this point. We need you know, we're working on our margins, and until we kind of can improve them a little bit, then we can't do we can't go with a distributor at this point.
Tough,
it's
makes
tough,
the gig a lot tougher.
It's tough.
It does. So I think, you know, that's probably in our future.
It almost has to be, and I'll tell you why. Because if you want buyers to be quasi engaged as a buyer is going to be, especially right now. First off, you can't get a hold of them. You're not going to get time with them. And really and truly, the first thing is going to be, I got to list a product I got to list a brand new vendor, do all this bullshit. Like, seriously, for a couple Hava SKUs and a couple House and Hardware SKUs, can't just buy through a distributor. That's typically where their mind's going, because they're thinking, you know, I don't want to open up a warehouse location, put stuff in there. How much am I going to order? Is it going to sell? Like, I'd rather test it in someone else's warehouse and not have to worry about it. So your margins, is it because is it the retail's too low?
It's I think it's a variety of things. Like, I know, going like from Nature's Fair, like, we exactly to what you're speaking to, like, when we would see a direct vendor come in, especially a small one like us, we would be like, you know, it's too much work. Like, they have to do another PO. They've got to do like all these.
We've had arguments with Roland to try to do some things. And you know what? And I can't even argue with him, because I would tell him to pound sand. It's easier for me to buy through Horizon or Purity,
totally.
whoever it is. Like, why do I need to have you here? Can't you just
Yeah.
come in my stores and help? I used to try to help people do that because I would be the one telling the two of you saying, listen, don't bug me for a warehouse listing. Get a distributor. Because I don't want to give you space. First off, you're going to pay for it. Because then you can be a real jerk. Because I'm going to charge you a listing fee because I got to open up the damn warehouse, find spots, get everybody pissing and moaning that we're doing all this stuff. It's not fun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, you know, that given everything, like all the different challenges that we faced, like as we were kind of building this, you know, with like shutdowns, COVID, all these different things, we just got to a place where we were like, we need to launch with a product now. It's a great product, direct to consumer. We make a great margin. And that is right now, like, I think 60% of our business.
60% of our business. Yeah.
So as we, what we're working on currently is getting our own manufacturing, getting, you know, the margins in line with what we can then pass, you know, then it makes sense for us to work with a distributor. But
do you need retail?
Well, this is the bigger thing.
Do you need bricks and mortar?
I don't know. The question.
Well, but think about it. You've already asked it to yourselves. I mean, do you really?
We have,
Well,
you're selling.
We need it. We need it to a point. I think it's. You know, COVID has changed a lot of things, and I think that it's. It's not as critical to our success, especially the types of products that we have, as it may have been a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
right?
I wouldn't argue that.
I think, you know, I think the part of your question where you said, where do we want to be? Like when Alexa and I envisioned, you know, okay, what is our strategy? So between the two of us, we have obviously a lot of connections in the industry. And I knew a lot of buyers directly through Genuine Health. Yeah. So I was like, you know, but we knew right in the beginning, like, we don't want to be everywhere. We just want to be in those select health food accounts, mass, you know, and a couple of mass accounts. And then we want to go direct with the rest of it. So that's
direct
really
to consumer.
Direct to consumer.
You have all the makings of a D2C, you know, like, I mean, every great D2C company, you've got about $100 million before you run out of, you know, consumer roadway, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then even in there, it becomes,
in the US too. Like we're already selling in the US direct to consumer. We have like done zero marketing to them, and we're getting consumers like every day picking up the brand in the US. So once we start to do more of that, and I think another really great thing where we've been really lucky is we've had there's this whole other network of smaller boutique retailers that are out there that are, you know, those zero waste stores and those, you know, and the ones that sell beautiful home care items. Right. And our brand is perfect for those. And we get those like literally every week reaching out to us asking to carry our brand. And there's probably there's got to be at least 1,000 of those all across Canada. Right. So that's a channel that we actually really want to explore more, because from a brand perspective, we align really well with the brands that are in those stores. They're higher end. They're you know, beautiful things for your home, more very geared towards that core consumer that you know, women aged, you know, 25 to 44 who are, you know, have a little bit more spending money and, you know, really care about their home and want to make things beautiful, because we also wanted to really make this a very beautiful experience. And that's the one thing that, you know, we really feel comes across with the brand, but it also comes across with like the products. Like Alexa sells to quite a bit of those stores out there now. And I mean, with our packaging, I think, didn't one of them tell you that she was like, I just want to hang this on my wall. It's so pretty. So we are getting like quite a few of those like lifestyle boutique-y kind of stores. And what we find with those accounts is that it's normally like an owner operator or like one or two dedicated staff that are actually like push the brand for us. And so we're seeing sell-through like in every single boutique that we've been listed in so far. We've had reorders from every single one and multiple reorders from others. And then when we look at like, you know, back to the, you know, what other accounts are we in, or what others, like markets we're in. So all the Nature's fairs, of course, and then Choices we got through Nature's Fair. And then Nesters, and then lifestyle markets in Victoria.
But again, you could just do there's 100 of those accounts in the country. Like really, I know that the channel's large. The channel's so mom and pop. and it's so bullshitty. There's about 100 really good accounts that you probably need to be in. Yeah. And the thing is, like, you know what it's like, the more you're going to stretch into mass, because you both came from that, it's costly.
Yeah.
It's not cheap. It's not cheap business. And the amount of money you spend to placate buyers and to play the game, you know, you put all that money into
marketing.
And honestly,
which is what we like to do better.
So, and what are you going to make? Now it's all margin. It's all your margin.
Yeah.
That's why I was dead serious. Like, I mean, do you really want to be in retail? I mean, I think it's nice if you pick a few. You know, maybe every city, like every major city, you know, in one, you know, like if you're in Calgary, like Calgary Co-ops are not bad stores.
We're in community.
Community Natural Foods is a nice store, so those are okay. Like if you went maybe to Optimum Health, I guess up in sort of Edmonton, those might not be the greatest in the world. I mean, you know, Blush, Spud, but again, you know, there's not like a list that's 8 miles long. It's just
exactly.
Kind of go across the country, you pick a few, and then just fucking go mental online.
You guys have such a wonderful D2C. Like, it's just,
first off, the packaging is beautiful.
Like if you're a brand out there and you're listening, you guys need to go to the site, go to Good Juju, and just look at what like good marketing does for you. Like,
but that's when your focus,
like,
Phil,
look,
though,
like
when your focus
if
is
you're
marketing,
listening to this, you should be looking at these two going, holy shit, they spent the money, they invested right. And now look at the option you have, right? Like you put all this work into it, but you're actually at a place where most brands would not be. Most brands would be like, if I don't get that major retailer, I'm so screwed. I don't know how I'm going to make things happen. You guys are like, I don't know. You know what? The online, because we've done the work, we've got this beautiful brand, we've got consumers. Like, I'm looking at the testimonials on your site and they're ridiculous, right? Like Facebook is ridiculous.
But how good is that, right?
Almost like you put a narcotic in the
I know, honestly.
You know, there's something in here. But in however you look at it, like,
women
you
like
guys
to talk
have
about their hair
choice
though, right?
I think my favorite review is the one that we just posted on Instagram, though. Like, one lady called our laundry strips at like little cleaning soldiers from heaven, and she said, I literally cried when I ran out, and then I went and bought more. I was like, little cleaning soldiers from heaven.
That's awesome.
Like, how good is that review?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Plus, your product leads really well, you guys. You know, you can put your product in an envelope.
Yeah,
like the laundry stuff can go into an envelope.
It does,
and it needs an oversized stamp, probably. It's dirt cheap, man.
So can you tell them, because we haven't talked about that at all.
Cheap.
Yeah.
Can you tell these guys, like the audience, about this? Because this is really cool.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like your laundry strips and everything.
Alexa's a pro with the laundry strips.
So what are laundry strips?
Yeah.
Well, laundry strips are, we've taken laundry detergent, we've removed all of the kind of nasty chemicals and ingredients that you would find in a lot of mainstream detergents, like formaldehyde and 1,4-dioxin.
Did you guys know that formaldehyde is like a common ingredient in laundry detergent?
No idea.
Yeah.
We had no idea too until we got into it.
Yeah, and 1,4-dioxin is like a known cancer causer. So all those ingredients are taken out. There's no phosphates. And then you just concentrate it into these little strips. So all the water's been removed. And one strip is one load. So you just like open up your washing machine, whatever kind of washing machine you have. It works in all kinds. You throw it in right in with your clothes. It dissolves in hot or cold water. It works in high efficiency machines. It works in they work in septic tanks systems. You can use them for hand washing. And then they reduce the carbon footprint of your laundry by 94%.
That's insane.
Yeah, so it's because when you think about it, laundry soap is really just a small amount of soap added with a ton of water added to it, and then they put it in these really heavy jugs.
90% water.
Yeah, and same with shampoo. Shampoo is like 80% water too. So you add all that water weight plus all the bulk that takes up as you're shipping it in these plastic containers, and just the transportation emissions alone are like ridiculous from these things that we do not need to have the water in these items. Like, and that's what Lisa and I are trying to prove with really every product that we add to Good Juju. Yeah. So the laundry strips have been a really big success for us so far. Like, I think that was something that just kind of, we actually stumbled upon that opportunity too. And we just like really, really happy that we ended up.
That was a pivot because of COVID, because we actually,
that was a pivot.
And it was a really quick and timely pivot because of COVID. Because when we had written the business plan, we wanted to launch with 2 sets of products. So it was the shampoo and conditioner bars, and then another body product, which is still coming. But that one.
Maybe it's not done yet. You've been 15 months.
Yeah, like.
What are you sleeping?
Come on, Max, pick it up, man. What's going on over there?
Now he's napping too much. What the
hell? So we were like, okay, this product clearly was not going to be ready for launch. And we knew I was using the laundry strips. Actually, Max and I were both using the laundry strips. And we always knew that we wanted to put that on, but we thought that would be like a year 2, year 3 thing. Like we'd go outside of the bathroom in year 2 and 3, but then COVID hits and, all of a sudden, making sure everything is clean is much more important. Right. Yeah. And also like everybody's home all the time. They're doing much more laundry because everybody's like in everybody's faces and, people are just doing more laundry period because of COVID. Right. So, we made a really quick pivot to that.
Yeah.
That was like lightning fast. Like that
it was like within a week. So
yeah.
Wow.
It's turned out really, really well for us. So like most of our retailers are carrying laundry strips, and then we have just like a select handful that are carrying the bars, the shampoo and conditioner bars. Yeah. I think the bars have been more
different sets. It's different sets too.
Totally, yeah.
Hab is a lot more of a pain in the ass to get into than the other.
One thing about the conditioner bars though, for the reduction of plastic, is like one bar. Like obviously the people listening can't hear, but can't see this, but it's a really small bar, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's a 2.5 ounce shampoo bar. This replaces up to 3 plastic bottles.
What's it called? What's the retail on that?
$17.99 or on our website, or anywhere from $18 to $21.99 in store.
Mm-hmm.
So about the cost of 3 bottles of shampoo.
Yeah, I guess it depends on which brand you're using.
At $5 a bottle, even it's there. It's close enough. It's not.
Yeah, even if you're looking at like that's more budget friendly shampoo, but like we've had people that are using like luxury high end salon shampoos that are like we've switched to yours because it's
interesting.
So then if you're looking at that, like we're a fraction of the price. Yeah.
But even
I still like the fact you're
laundry
online.
Strips, you're not that much more of a like.
Actually, I thought it was equivalent. Like, it was pretty much equivalent to what a small bottle Tide or a small bottle would be.
It's slightly more expensive, right? It's slightly more expensive than a small bottle.
What's your 30 load? Your 30 load for what? $12.99 ish.
Yeah,
$14.99.
Okay, so you're a couple bucks higher.
Yeah, a couple bucks, but it's not
big deal.
It's 50 cents a load, and I mean it does like a really big load of laundry. Like it's and it's not that like 50 cents a load of laundry is
people are
money. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. And then to cut your like I think that environmental idiot, right? Is I hear I can cut 95% of the waste out of my laundry
without me doing much of anything. Like I can actually make a difference, right? I don't have to do much. That's the part I like. I like the fact that honestly, I still like the fact you're online. Your products lend. You know what it is? I came from retail too. Like I did 26 years with London Drugs. And then I was, prior to that, I was like 6 or 7 years. I grew up in Trail. So when I was in the Kootenays, I mean, I've done retail my entire life. And I ask everybody, well, I want to go to retail. I'm thinking, why? Like, why? I mean, you can make it I think it's a great idea. I like retail. I love retail.
It should be like our wives be accountants. Your life would be a lot simpler. You'd make a lot more money. Like you wouldn't,
I mean, just you think of all the things you have to do to get in stores and the cost for the privilege of being on someone's shelf.
Yeah.
Like you're thinking, like, seriously?
The world has changed. You know what?
It's changing.
COVID has actually, people ask us all the time, what are the challenges because of COVID? And they're pretty, standard. Like Lexa and I built a whole business without ever being together in the same room. Like, so that, there's that. There was the manufacturing challenges, but one of the biggest, like, there's been a lot of bright side with us for COVID. So one is really bringing to light the amount of plastic that people are using, single-use plastic. So people are it doesn't take much to convert people that they're to like convince them that they need to change other habits, because we have to use PPE right now, right? And you see these stats, you see it all over the ground, you see it in the landfills, you see it in the oceans. So if that part is needed, we need to make sacrifices in other places. So there's that, like that has been really good for us, but also just online shopping habits, right? It's just like people, I think to convince people to do this online, maybe pre-COVID might have been a little bit like, I still think we would have done
this. We did this because it was coming anyway. And I'll tell you the truth, like Phil and I've talked about this too, is I'm not, as much as COVID has helped online, I think the fact that COVID just won't seem to go away actually even may help proper retail once this is done. Right. Because there are, as much as we all like shopping online, I don't mind going to stores. Now, I may not want to go into a behemoth anymore. And this is why I was asking, like, what accounts? Because I don't know if I want to go into Costco after this. I don't know if I want to do a lot of Superstore or Save On. I don't even know if I want to go into Nature's Fair too much because it might be a little too tight. But you know what? There's a lot of cool, smaller places that I may say, you know what? I'll split. I'll support local. I'll go to the small guys, maybe like a Lifestyles or whatever, and I'll do a bunch of online, and then whatever I need to do, I'll figure out. But there's definitely a play for both. I just would, I keep my retail offerings real tight.
Yeah, that's our goal.
Real tight. Yeah. The way you're doing it, to me, is probably the smartest way. Get to those 150, 200, 300 doors, whatever it is. Have a nice little business and then go mental online because you can spend money because you're making money.
Yeah. And I think the opportunities that we have online, especially with the education, because we are, like our goal, tell the story, tell the marketing story, but we are really passionate about climate change, and to be able to talk about, like, the stats on plastic are astounding. Like, we are like, some of the headlines that we've read in the past, like 18 months, like, you're inhaling or ingesting a credit card size worth of plastic each and every week.
Yeah.
Because of the amount of microplastics that are in.
But that's insanity. That's
insanity.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you can't tell a story like that in store,
No, but you can definitely tell it on a web page, and you can show me a video, and you get me hyperactive and thinking, oh shit, you know what? I need to buy this because, I don't even want to drive my car down to the grocery. It's going to come to the house. It's one less piece of machinery moving because that guy is delivering to 70 houses.
One less. It's easily 3 or 4 machines moving less, right? Like,
well, it could be a whole bunch. If 6 or 7
you're not putting it in a bigger
it's usually
cardboard box to sit on a warehouse shelf. You're not doing forklifts. You're not doing you're not doing people who have to drive to the warehouse to pick this product.
All of it.
To put it in another bin it's like.
I think it's a great idea. I think it's cool too. I love the online play.
It's phenomenal.
I love the online play.
Thanks.
Yeah, love it. Oh my God. Love it.
It's good. You know what? I know time is running short, but I think that I would be remiss. I think one thing that we should talk about, Alexa, is just what it's like. You guys haven't asked this, which I find strange so far, but other people have asked this.
We haven't. I'm still stuck on that. You built this thing in a year. Like,
cut us some slack.
The whole women, like, what's it been like being women, like starting this business in this time, right? Like, you guys both look perplexed. Or like, why would we even ask that?
The thing is, to me, I tell you, I would ask that if I thought
bright people.
That's the difference. It doesn't matter to me. As soon as you start talking and you guys are enthusiastic and you know what the hell you're doing, and if you got the experience, I don't care if you're a cat. If you're capable of doing it, you're capable of doing it. You shouldn't have any extra struggles or not. Maybe it's actually better. I don't know.
Hopefully our industry has been.
Oh yeah, the food and the grocery CPG industry. Come on, we're dinosaurs.
I mean, I think that there's been. So on the positive side, there's been there's a lot of support for women-led businesses now, right?
Yeah,
so on the
positive,
sure. like the banks were super supportive of that. That was one thing they were like, oh, check.
Yeah.
Good. For people listening, they don't know what we look like, but we also are like, one person of color here. Check that box.
Yeah, right.
Check. Yeah, you've got ethnic covered, you've got gender covered. I heard you have kids. You got mom covered. Yeah, shit, you've got all the boxes, man.
So on one hand, there have been some. But then on the other hand, there's been a couple of Alexa's got like 2 stories in particular that I think you guys are going to be like, what?
Okay, seriously?
Go.
I think it's like there is another layer of I don't know if it's a challenge, but it's just, something that as women, we have both experienced this our whole careers. And so I do think it is important to touch on because often women don't get a voice to touch on it. And
we're definitely not taken as seriously as men. Definitely.
Yeah. Our industry is amazing because there's like a ton of really supportive men in it, but there's not a lot of women like owned businesses yet. And I think that's something that Lisa and I are like really wanting, to talk about.
Yeah.
But like we had 2, interesting things happen so far. So one of them was signing a contract with our manufacturer, and this is like a a contract worth like hundreds of thousands of dollars that we're signing. And when they sent it to us, they said, oh, like, you don't even need to worry about reading the contract. Like, we've read it. It's quite boring. You guys might, like, you know, if you're having trouble sleeping one night, like, maybe read it because it might put you to sleep. But
Come
like,
on.
don't bother reading it. Like just sign it and send
that's
it
what
back.
you got told.
Yeah.
They
What the fuck is the matter
Here-
with people?
Here's the Coles notes though, just so you know. Here's what it says. We read it for you. They mansplained it. You know, here's what it says.
That is such a...
Here's the
After meeting you two, they took that approach with you.
Yeah.
like, and
We're like, I think we're gonna send it to our lawyer actually to read it for us as well.
Yeah.
We will read it. But we'll also get legal advice on this, because who signs a contract worth that much money without?
I hope you, but you
reading
got a
it?
man, but you must have got a man lawyer, so that would have been
better.
better.
It must have been a guy.
Yeah,
Don't give it
which
to
is
a
why
woman
we
lawyer.
ended
It's the
up
same
okay.
problem.
Exactly.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, so we have run into things that have happened.
I see.
Like
I guess
that.
what it is, it's not that we're naive and stupid. I mean, I feel. Well, now I feel like we should have asked that question, but I don't. I guess what it is, I usually go on. Like, seriously, when I just start talking to people, it's what comes out of the mouth, and I just start listening to the story.
Yeah.
So the fact you're women is just by birth. I can't help you on that, or take it away, or make it better, make it worse. You definitely don't want to be men. So I don't. The sex part of the gender part doesn't mean squat.
Yeah.
If you know. The fact you guys know what you're doing.
But I think it is important for other women.
Important for your listeners.
Yes.
Yeah. See, I guess we were looking at probably with just for anybody who's going to business, whether you're a man or woman listening to this, listen to it. Listen to their story, how they think, how they went about it, didn't stop, persevered. Like, I guess we just didn't. Yeah, that's just, we're not that.
But there's one other thing.
But it is recognizing privilege, right? It's like, for us, we don't.
I'm a white man in North America. Are you kidding?
But we see intelligence, we see passion. The gender thing means nothing, right? Is the fact that you guys were focused on what you wanted. But you're absolutely right? Is that there are still people who look at you differently and won't afford those privileges, right?
Or or you get the other side, that you go into an account,
the body of work that you have, right? So,
but you go into account as women, you get to a man buyer. Like, and now I start thinking of all this stuff too. Like, it's got to be a shit show then. I mean, get some assholes.
Alexa has a story for you about a man buyer.
So we called a buyer from, I would say, a fairly large chain.
Well, give us Don't tell us who it is. So grocery, fairly large, Western Canada.
Fairly large Western Canada grocery.
Lower Mainland.
And I
already know who they are because way too many men. Way too many men.
Giving a pitch, and the guy said, "Oh yeah, I'm on your website. Like, is one of these naked girls on your website you?" And I was like,
First off, why the hell do you even notice the naked women on the website?
There is actually not naked women on our website. And
number two,
people, it's 2021. Like, what the?
Yeah, you would not say like, hey,
okay, but it gets worse though, because she's like, no, it's not. And then he says to you, like, are you sure?
Yeah, are you sure? Not one of these ones is you? And I was like, no.
If you list it with that account, I shit you not, I'll fucking burn it off the shelves. I will throw it on the floor, and I'll tell everybody it's a piece of shit product. Do not list it like that. That's horrific.
They declined. They declined. So
2021. That's what we do.
You know what? I actually said to Alexa, I feel like we should. So this is the position that women are in now, right?
Unbelievable.
You think, and we're like, do we say something about this to a level higher up, which we have access to, and we could, and we're like, no, because it could screw us, like we have to think about all the ways.
Think of the other distribution you might have within the industry, potentially within the family. Keep your mouth shut. You know what you tell the story?
No. You can't, but
the problem is, Phil, but the problem is, it's gonna.
You guys, you have to do what you got to do, but that's bullshit, right? Like,
I think we should get to a size, and I would tell every of these stupid stories at the time. The problem is at the beginning, it's hard because you're gonna hit men buyers in every place, and then they're gonna just stop taking their call. I'm telling you, that's
in my house. I don't want
that. I've got a daughter too.
I would never do that. What the hell?
Exactly.
Like, that's.
I wouldn't even want to list with them. I wouldn't even want to talk to them. I tell you the truth, I fucking as soon as I get to a big number, I send a free product and say, you should have listed it, you idiots.
Yeah.
Then I go to the newspaper and tell the story, and I tell them who it was, the buyer's name and the company, and I fucking make it a big deal.
We're sorry that happened to you.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
We don't want to like, they are unbelievable stories, but honestly, like as a woman in a, I have so many of these stories, it's ridiculous. So we just wanted to kind of like bring up.
I'm sorry that still happens. And I'm sorry we didn't ask you because I just didn't think of it. I really just did not think of it. I just thought you guys got your shit together. You're doing the right things. You've got a good business plan. You killed it in a year. Like, I'm sorry. I guess maybe that's probably just.
I'm just disappointed. I'm disappointed in our
I don't know what
industry,
goes on out there.
Yeah.
Like, I feel bad because I think there's a lot of. I mean, I'm a white guy in North America.
This is why you
Canada,
should go to D2C.
But
screw all these buyers. Go D2C.
Our early success that we've seen so far has been, I have to say, like super satisfying on so many levels, because I think that we always knew that we would do well, and we have a lot of like there's all men in this industry. There's very few women, and we know a lot of them so well, and some of them are so good to us. But there are
like Richard.
When people Richard, of course, and like there's that whole boy band group of them. Right?
They're all pretty good guys though, right?
Yeah,
it's actually
guys.
not a bad group of guys, and you can beat the hell out of, like, you can, when they say something stupid, like you can smack them hard
100%.
Or you tell them, listen, I'll phone your wives, okay? You want to behave like this?
And
then that's big trouble.
But
big trouble.
But there's people that know Alexa and I, in this industry, and know what we're capable of, and even before they knew what we were doing, they heard that we were working together, and some of people were like, that's amazing, can't wait to see. We know it's going to be awesome if it's the two of you, because we kept it pretty quiet,
right?
But then there were people that were like, that's cute.
Cute even, right? Wow.
Like, oh, that's cute. Let's see
like,
you guys.
That's a lemonade stand cute.
Right.
Well, it's nice to see women getting out of the house, playing around with the husband's money, probably. That's nice. Good husbands to let you have a few pennies to go do something.
If those jackasses are part of our listenership, you need to get off this podcast now.
So what we've been able to accomplish, like in this very like forget about the year it took to launch and all we accomplished there. What we've been able to accomplish since launch to like just 5-6 months into this, the amount of success that we've achieved, like there's like a huge like mic drop on that. Like
it's great.
No, it's amazing.
But
really.
I think that's what Phil and that I think that's. See, it's a sad part too, because I think
we haven't gotten past that, right? Like,
no, I don't think we left that part.
Minutes ago, I'm still like, what the hell is going on? This thing's amazing. So,
and I guess that's probably why I'm glad. Not glad. I'm happy that if we were going to talk about this, I'm glad that it's at the end, because I think I shouldn't be the focus. Outside of that, you should be applauded, because as two business people, good on you.
Yeah.
Like, what? It's not easy. It's not easy doing a business.
Oh, it is not.
And apparently it's not very easy. It's definitely not easy doing a business as women, because apparently there's still a bunch of
because we're
out there.
still jackasses.
Right.
But also, like, we even get written up in the newspaper as like, we was featured in the Toronto Star, and the headline was moms turned entrepreneurs getting it done. And it's like, do they ever say dads as entrepreneurs getting it
But they
done?
never say anything like that, because it's, I don't know why they have to go down that path. Like, you should not be applauded.
Like you said,
why? Like,
what? We're just business people.
Two business people from the industry doing well, right? Now, if you've developed something for the family because you are moms, and this was derived because you saw the kids touching shit you didn't want them to do, or if there was two dads that did this and they did it for the same reason because they were the ones home and they saw shit that they didn't want the kids. That's great. I mean, as a parent, I applaud you. That's fantastic. Right. I don't know if the mom part, I mean,
no.
I mean, I guess it all sort of plays
we appreciate you guys.
Here's the platform for
because it hasn't always been the reception that we've gotten.
That's too bad.
So,
it really is.
We're totally fine with it. Like we take it as it comes, and then we call each other and we're like, what
the fuck?
Well, that's definitely a what the fuck. I mean, seriously. I think I would have probably said it during the call. Like, are you kidding me? Like, seriously. Especially when you get to the naked part. I would.
That
like,
one.
Have you not watched television?
I don't think I would have.
Well, I would have snapped. I would, if I was in that meeting, I would have said something. Like, I mean, are you serious? in 2021, this in your mind is an acceptable place to go.
Yeah, place to start the conversation.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. Like that's an individual. That's wow. That's
that's ridiculous.
Anyways,
anyway.
It is worth noting that women have different
stay out of retail.
So, yeah,
just talk to the
You see,
that's it. We
Come on,
made the decision.
You've easily got $100 million path here. Like you guys.
Oh my god.
Yeah. We think
Plus,
so.
you guys, you're excited about what you're doing. You got a cool product. You got good ideas.
Yeah.
Your marketing play, like Phil said, the fact that you hired all the people on the front end, as opposed to sort of battling a nickel. Because if you had done it the opposite way, this whole conversation is very different.
Yeah.
Right.
Agreed.
Because you'd be now thinking like, fuck, we need $10. We got to sell something. Then you're scrambling and you're just putting shit in places that doesn't belong in. You lose sight of the game. Like you lose sight of the plan. Like I think you did it. I think you did it spot on.
Thanks.
What that's worth. But wow, good for you.
So
it means a lot. Thank you.
No, it means a heck of a lot.
I think it's super cool. I really do. I think it's very cool. I like the idea. I love the play.
Okay, so if people want to find you, what's the best place? Except for these jackasses.
No stupid.
You can all
men,
stay
please.
away. Thank you very much.
Oh
But if you're
God.
a solid, upstanding citizen and you want to talk to these two wonderful, wonderful entrepreneurs, where do you
go? How do we find you?
Our website is hellogoodjuju.com.
Juju, like Juju?
Juju. Yeah. We're on Instagram. Same thing. Hello, Good Juju. And I mean, you can find us. All of our contact information is on both of those.
Awesome.
So they can actually get a hold of you, or if LinkedIn, or if are you either of you on LinkedIn?
Okay. I'm on LinkedIn. Yeah.
Okay.
Lexa's not. Lisa is.
Yeah. Not yet.
LinkedIn.
It's okay. As long as one of you, you can hide. You can hide. It's okay. It's cool. It's cool.
You're not allowed to hide. It's a twosome. There's no hiding.
That's true.
We'll put all of their links in the show notes.
Yeah.
But thank you so much. This was.
Thanks for the chat, guys.
Thank you so much. It was really great too.
So I would love to do this one though. It'd be nice to have a follow-up either later this year, whether it's fall, winter, or early into next. How's it going? Hopefully no more idiot stories. Like hopefully they're better, but I'd love to know what'd you end up doing? Did you try the retail side? Did it go more on? I'm just curious to see where you guys are going to go.
For sure. Yeah. We'd love to.
Very cool, guys.
I can't wait. I've added all sorts of stuff to my cart now.
I might go do some laundry for my next call.
You know what? The only reason I haven't pulled the trigger is because I got to wait for the girls, right? Because the girls are going to want to see all of these bars and figure out, because I don't have any hair, so I don't know what they need. So.
It's pointless for me too. So I mean,
you need to try the laundry strips. That's what you need to do.
Can you do them with your hair?
I'm super stoked about the laundry strips because this makes my life a lot easier.
They do smell good too.
And I don't have to think about it either, so it's going to be amazing.
So now we're on there for 1 second, because listen, I bought laundry category many years ago, and there's a reason why you bought Tide, right? Because it does clean. There's enough astringent in it, and it cleans. It kills your clothes. So for listeners, you don't use Tide on your best clothing because there's so much cleaning in it. It just kicks the shit out of your clothing. It falls apart eventually. Mm-hmm. So, but what is the cleaning mechanism? Like, without telling me trade secret, because like you do need stuff to do stuff in there, right? Like, I mean.
Yeah, so they're all natural-based surfactants, basically, right?
Okay.
That will go in coconut-based ones, and so that will go and it's held together on like the strip itself. The base is a PVA strip, so polyvinyl alcohol, which is natural-based as well,
right?
And that's the carrying agent that the cleaners, the surfactants are basically on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to try them. I bought them downstairs. Okay. I mean, Rich gave them to me last week, so I want to give them a shot, see what they do.
Okay, let us know.
They work amazing. And we are, while yes, the hair, the bars are, for women, we are working on some stuff for men too. So we have a product pipeline as well. This was
when you get stuff that puts the hair back, then you phone me. Otherwise, I don't want to talk to you guys.
One of our bars actually contains chaga mushroom extract, which is research proven, like properly research proven to regrow hair better than the active ingredient in Rogaine.
Wow.
Yeah, you got your salesperson hat on. That's what I think.
No, come on.
I get snowed on this one.
That's
you are not getting snowed.
I'm gonna have to try it now.
Big, so. Yeah, just send Kenny any prototypes. He'll test them for you.
Okay.
Yeah, but then
We
we're looking for
record every
results.
week, so I can even track and send you video results.
I'm gonna
So
do
if you
this
send
then.
them, I can, every
That's
week.
all I'll
can, Thank you
nice.
both for coming on. We really enjoyed this.
That was good, guys. Thank you. I really appreciate
we're
that.
so
Thanks
glad
for
you
coming
came.
on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And we'll
Thanks for
chat
having
again,
us.
maybe 6
Yes.
months or so.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sounds
sounds
good.
good.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye,
guys.
guys.
Bye.
Wow.
What a cool story, eh?
Part of that's shitty.
You know what,
idiots.
though? I tell you what, though. It infuriates me. But
Yeah.
you know what? I hope, and honestly, you got to be careful. I know you need to talk about this, and I know it needs to be out there. But they got to be really cautious too, because this industry is really small.
I understand.
But
it's bullshit, though.
Oh,
right?
I'd wait, and as soon as you get to a size where you really can rock it, oh fuck, I would go Looney Tunes. I would spit it all out. I'd put down who said it, what the account was, because that should not be the precursor. They're bright, articulate business people who've got a really cool idea. I still don't understand how they got it together in a year.
In a year? What the fuck, dude?
I don't get it. But anyway, that's the part, so it's funny. You didn't ask us about this part. I'm thinking, because we haven't digested the other part. I don't know how the hell you did it.
I was so blown away by like that part that I never. Yeah. But I hear what you're saying on all that stuff. I guess the one thing is, and it's not my place, right? So
but they can do whatever they want to do. It's their business.
It's
not
their business.
Whatever you want to do.
I think the one thing that we've seen out of like Hollywood, for example, right, with the whole Me Too thing is if you put the power in the right place. So if you go to senior management, you might be surprised by what happens, right? You might not be. There's still a full risk that, it doesn't go the way it's supposed to. But
that's
do you know what I'm saying? Like
I totally appreciate
I think that's
it.
the thing, right? So
I think the challenge with this one is I'm positive I know the retailer. There are
you and me
some females at the higher level there.
Yeah.
But the challenge is because the octopus arms stretch longer than you want them to. So you got to be really cautious with it, which pisses me off as well.
Yeah.
Because you're right. Everything like this should be talked about.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you know what? The power that they have, just don't listen with them. Fuck them. Seriously, fuck them. And if they phone me one, I tell them, say, no, you guys are assholes.
Yeah, sorry.
And the world is going to know about it sooner or later, just so you're well aware of it. But I'm just not going to do it right now. And I don't care. I don't need you. I don't need you.
Yeah. And maybe later when I'm asked, I just don't lie about it, right?
I think you have to talk about it, but it's so...
Yeah.
I mean, I feel bad because I guess we propagate it if we don't talk about it. See, that's not good either, though. Agree. But I just know how the game plays. You're going to lose.
Yeah.
You win one thing, you get yourself, you feel good, you tell people, and then you know what? You get blacklisted in a whole bunch of other places.
Yeah.
Right? Because then the other stupid men are also going to say, well, I'm not going to talk to them. Well, I can't say anything to them. Well, talking about naked people on websites.
Yeah, come on.
The brightest.
Right?
Thing.
Like, yeah.
I mean, you got to be. Yeah. People are stupid. Anyway, that was a long podcast.
That was 2 long podcasts now.
Jeez.
But these, so interesting.
That's your story. Rich said we would enjoy it. I did. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
We did a lot.
That was really cool.
Okay,
I got to go make pasta sauce, and I got to call to get
ciao, buddy.
5:30. So
see you later. Have a good night.
Ciao,
you too. Ciao.
Bye.